Welcome back, kindreds, children of the night. Let us begin episode 5 of the Oxford by Night. My name is Leisure. I am the game master of Virtuoso. Please introduce yourself.
I am Vasilis Moustakis and I play Giorgos Dimakopoulos, the Malkavian.
My name is Declan and I play Malik, the Nosferatu Archon.
Hi, I'm Rachel and I play the suspected Toreador.
The sentence coterie came on an obstacle just in the heart of you. Attack of Lynn's face. Last time we finished Giorgos, you faced her. And she became dead by the Giuseppe in your very eyes. None of your muscles would move. As what happened in your brain became so sudden and overcoming. In a strict seconds you feel free and chained at the same time. The night that you lived through within those split seconds ended the moment that head of Lynn's face was dropped on it by Giuseppe, to become distracted by men, armed people who enter the back of the building. You saw him jumping into their direction. And you could hear immediate gunshots. What does Giorgos do?
I'm just frozen there. I'm just frozen in place.
You are still looking ahead. Do you?
Pardon?
Do you still look at the head?
I still look at the whole thing, the situation, the head, the dismembered body, everything. And I'm just frozen. It's too much. The whole thing is too much.
No one could blame you. As you are alone with your mind and alone in the building, as you think, in the front of the building there's Malik and Rose. Inside the car, Malik, you bleeding head. And Rose, you assisting him with covering the wounds, I suppose.
Yep.
With any parts of clothing that you have spare. In the meantime, you become distracted due to the multiple vehicles stopping on Main Street of Oxford. You see 6 or 7 heavy armored vehicles and plenty of people armed with a gas mask, with a heavy artillery getting out of the car. Definitely a military, but they do not have any other symbols than the Templar sign.
Sorry, your audio cut out a bit there. All I got was Templars, I think.
Right. This big cross Templar is on the chest of the Templar. They start to enter the privilege building and secure the surroundings.
So they focused on where the wolf and Giuseppe went in, broke into the other building, or just the privilege building?
Start to storm the privilege building. They approach the hole in the wall with a great caution. But they get in that direction.
Okay. Do they seem interested in, the car that we're in at the moment?
No, your car is hidden in between any other and a common parkway. Nothing indicates that your car is either occupied or out of ordinary.
I've still got my phone on me, don't I?
Yes.
Cool. In which case, as I've seen them trying to secure the perimeter, I'm thinking it's best for me to stay out this way, so I try staying undercover as much as possible and calling Giorgos on the phone and see if he answers at all.
Georgos, do you answer? The number you have called. Same voicemail. You do not pick up.
Damn it, Giorgos.
Rose, what is happening?
Got, army dudes with, crosses on their chest. Looks like they're securing the perimeter. I'm not going between them and... I'm not getting caught in all that. But we need to get Giorgos out of there, because Giuseppe's still in there, just, raging out.
Yeah, he's lost control of his faculties, I think. My fucking leg is gone!
Yes, I'm trying to do the best I can. Unfortunately, it probably works better on mortals, I'm guessing.
And believe me, the wound is burning. It is pain.
That ain't good.
No, definitely not.
What should I do?
I am going to attempt to heal whatever I can in this moment in time. At least to either grow the leg back or stop the pain.
Please do the rouse test.
Success.
Rose, you could see his eyes become full of blood. The pain eased a little, and you stopped the bleeding. Not much, but enough to survive, you would say. The burning stopped. It became itching. It became needles and shivers. But it's gonna take time for you to forget about it.
We have to get him out of there, Rose.
No matter, is it in a building or is it in a car? Your senses notifies you about a few things. First one was a flashlight of a helicopter above your head. And the second was a growl. That came with the It is his growl, Giorgos, that wakes you up entirely from your dream. The moment you can hear the steps behind you. Heavy steps. Of 4 people wearing black. Tactical jackets and Kevlar vests with helmets and masks on the face. With short semi-automatic weapons. With a laser targeting.
They are coming into the building,
They
correct?
are behind you. And most likely you are already targeted.
I slowly turn around, facing them.
Mm-hmm.
Do they look familiar? Do they look like the Death Squad?
No. At the maybe first few seconds you thought they belong to the unarrested. But then you realize they do wear the cross of the temple or something. Not something that any fool would wear.
Do they look like they're breathers?
Yes, a human.
They breathe.
They go
4
2 by
people?
2 on the sides. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the back one is securing the front one. They move tactically. The moment you spotted them and they reckoned that you spotted them, they gave you a command sitting on your knees quite loudly and quite afraid, you would say.
They're quite afraid as well.
They're trying to mask that.
Okay. I will calmly put myself on the ground. Yes, but I still have my eyes on them.
You do not see their eyes through the mask.
The one who did this, he left.
They surround you. 2 of them start to handcuff you. One is pointing a gun into your head. And the 4th one took some kind of the device that he turned on. A little bit bigger than a tablet with a holder like a pistol. You turn it on and you can say it's a thermovision device. He started to measure your temperature.
I activate Glass of Life.
That's going to be aroused. Your current hunger is 3, am I correct?
I think so. Give me a moment. It should be. Yes.
3 successes. He looked at you, at your vital organs. He nodded head. Clear, secure. They said through the intercom, the communication, citizen to secure. And they start moving you out.
The moment they escort me out, I just mutter to them, he killed the poor girl. He killed the poor girl.
We got that covered. The ER and the help is on the way. You see that they stuck you next to the couple other people around it, that they start to gather. Are people who could see something. Most of them are unconscious. Malik, Rose, you can see the scene when the SWAT team is escorting people, lifting them up, bringing them down from the pub. In a couple of seconds, out, fuck! Went from one of the soldiers. And he started going towards the street, where you could see a BBC van and reporters, police, and just passengers of the road, street. They started to stop and secure the perimeter entirely. Giorgos, you can see Rose through the glass of the car. They are in a spot inside the secured perimeter. In a matter of seconds, you all have been witness to the fact that they drag out a kindred from the local. They put him on his knees and shoot him in his head. And he starts to burn.
Who did they shoot? Sorry?
A kindred that they took out from the local.
Do I recognize who the kindred was?
Yes. That was a son of Sebastian.
They're not going to let us out of here.
What are we supposed to do then?
I have no idea. But I do have one idea in mind, but it's not going to go down without a fight. And I can't fight with this fucking leg. I'm going to pull out my phone and just type in SOS in a text message to Unrested and hit send.
OMW. That was the immediate response. Yes, Giorgos.
The situation is like they have gathered the witnesses at one side.
Yes.
They shoot Sebastian, correct?
No, you don't see Sebastian in here. They shoot Sebastian's son.
Okay. How am I in order with the other people, the other witnesses? Like we are in line?
No, more like randomly next to the car, and nobody in a special place. You are guarded by the two soldiers. Many of the people sleep. They lay down on the floor.
Okay.
It's a mess in here for sure.
I'd like to discreetly, if I have a position that they cannot see, if I can discreetly go over there and activate Cloak of Shadows. And just stay still.
You're trying to sneak out behind the car and from the back. That does not need a rouse check. And with the mess that is in here, I don't see a reason to even test that. You successfully locked yourself. Rose, Malik. Is there anything you do? Or you just patiently wait?
I'm sending another text message to Unrested. They're everywhere. I cannot fight. My leg is gone. Please help.
You respond immediately. It's the name of the street. And that's the street away from here.
Question to Storyteller, is he asking me to get to there?
He's giving you his location and he's on my way. So he is nearby.
Rose, my dear, I know you've not been a vampire for very long. And I know this is a lot to take in, but this is going to get much, much worse. Help is on the way, Unrested is on his way. I have healed whatever I can of my leg, but I cannot fight. If this goes any worse, I'm taking off my copper ring and I'm handing it to Rose. If this goes south and you no longer see me, give this to this person, and I write down the name of Philip Marsh. Make sure this person gets this.
Understood.
I give her the address. And just for clarification's sake, I'm going to describe the ring. The ring has a copper rose indent on the middle of it. If I do so happen to survive this, I will explain everything to do with this ring.
Rose, please update your inventory on your character. Giorgos, in the meantime, you've been able to airdrop on the soldiers. They gather around. They sending to another squads to the east part, where they're seen a running vermin, as they said. They said it's the ugly one, and it must be exterminated immediately. Soldier very next to you who responds to that message was very silently killed seconds after he responded. It is a sniper shot, straight in the head, break his mask and make him fall on the floor. You can smell the sweet blood coming out from his head. Same happened to another one, few meters away, and then another one, and another one. 5 of them died because of sniper. 6 of them died because of sniper. 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Snipers start to shoot with amazing precision and amazing speed.
I activate sense the answer.
You received a text. Drive.
Rose, go!
17, 18, and 19, 20. Giorgos, you see the car starting the engine.
I just go for it.
You're jumping on the car.
Well, I do not jump on the car. I make a signal to get inside.
From the middle of nowhere, before you even started, you saw Giorgos running in the middle of the street, waving to you. Some soldier notified your movement, turn his sight into the position of the car, start saying the number plates, and getting shot at the same time, straight in the head.
Who? I did not hear that, sorry.
I said that one of the soldiers who was trying to hide himself, after he realized you're running for the car and start driving off, he started saying the place of the car, but did not finish. due to the fact that his head explodes. Just like everyone.
Okay, no need for him to forget anything.
Giorgos, you jumped into the car that stopped for a brief second, and Rose, you drive away.
Where am I going?
All three of you are inside the car. Rose, you are the driver.
I have an idea. It's gonna be very ugly, but I have an idea. I'm gonna point her in the direction of the Undercity.
Okay. He typed the address for you in the GPS. And you reached it in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes, the underground car park, the Westgate Center. Very close to the place that you've been. You could even set 3-4 streets away. Level -2. You stop the car when the GPS said you reached your destination. The car park is empty. It is dark, and it's past 4 a.m. in the morning. There's nothing here other than old rubbish bins in a large amount, and maybe 2-3 vehicles in a massive space.
Right. Now, I assume all of you know of the... Well, maybe Georgos might. The dwellings of the Nosferatu. This is... Oh my god, his fucking leg. This is Darling's domain. I need to eat. I am starving. And this wound is just getting worse. Georgos, will you please help me out of the car?
I will help you with that. I put my hood on because the other idiots saw my face. It would better to stay low for that right now. Get out of the car, help him.
Question to Storyteller, do I have Darling's phone number?
Of course.
I give...
Memorized and you got it in your phone.
I give my phone to Georgos and say, call this number and tell her we are here.
I do.
As I am giving you the phone, it is slowly slipping out of my hand due to how much pain I am in.
Yeah. I take care
What
of
are you
it.
doing in the meantime?
I'm keeping lookout. I've gotten out of the car.
You activate your outfit.
Yes. They're trying to be more subtle about it than just being like, ooh.
Ooh.
You could easily hear more than a dozen helicopters inside. You can easily hear police cars pretty much everywhere in the old city of Oxford. They're stopping the truck, stopping the people. They're getting into every pub. They drag people out. Like it's some kind of martial law now. Occasionally you can hear shooting.
It's chaos out there.
It's like
You don't say.
Purge. Do you close the car?
Yeah.
I'm asking.
I look at
He's got the keys.
I look at Malik and it's like, should we leave the car here, take the license plates, or?
That sounds like a good idea.
Sounds wise. Do it. I
Is there
have
anything
some
in the car that we
tools.
need?
I have some tools at the trunk to unscrew the plates.
Grab my bag. It has all the stuff from the Thin Bloods van.
Gotcha.
So, Georgios, you holding
deal with the
Malik.
license plates.
Yeah.
I support Malik while
Just
getting his, while I get his stuff out of the car, and then gives Giorgos the time to sort out the license plates. I look at both of them. Anything else we need?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Right,
We go.
lock it up.
Giorgos, you're taking care of the plates, yeah? That took you, I suppose, a minute or two. It's not a problem. And after you deal with that, you calling the number that Malik gave you, the phone.
I was with the phone already in my
Already, while you unscrewing the plates. So you can recognize the voice of Darling that you heard already through his phone.
Yeah.
Doctor, good
Darling.
morning.
Yeah, the best of them all. Your friend here he could use a hand, a leg. He needs help.
You owe me. And thus I shall provide. Normally,
Thank you.
we do not move in here. Consider that a token of a and warm welcome in the city of Oxford. Turn to your left. See the unseen, and you shall know the way.
I open Sense the Unseen.
The conversation was disconnected, and the moment you turn to your left and activate your powers, you see that the big chunk of the wall is missing. And there's a tunnel entrance between the floor and the wall on the east.
I see. Okay. I toss him over my shoulder and I go.
So you're taking him from Rose. So Rose, in a matter of seconds, you saw Giorgos and Malik disappearing in a wall.
I'm never going to get used to this.
Do I see Rose from the other side?
Yeah.
I pop out of the wall. What are you waiting for? Let's go. And I pop inside again.
Okay, I guess I'm going in.
Obviously, you started as an unbeliever with the hand. And in fact, the hands are no obstacle. Therefore, your
Still
body
never
will
going to get
through.
used to this.
You follow the irregular corridor, leading all the time a little bit lower and lower and lower with every single meter. You can see cables going through next to some parts of the old tires and technical junk of whatever you name it. Sometimes you could see cans of like beans or any other vegetables, open cans spread everywhere, just so whoever will come will make some noise. In maybe 10 minutes walk, you reach the level below the sewers, below any other kind of human touch. And what you see is looking very familiar to the mall. It's plain sight, very spacious place, really dark, but lit up by some neons and commercial lights, which is not many working. You can hear, specifically Euros, you can hear many engines, petrol engines working, generators giving the electricity to the place. Few shadows move here and there. You can see Nosferatu hiding from your eyesight. bended
Mm.
and scared, you would say. And you look around in the middle of this spacious place until you heard good morning. Or should I say, good morning. That came from down this level above you on some kind of balcony. Broken glass through it. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna like sort of push my arms up off George's back and be like, "Good morning, darling. How are you doing?" And sort of just slump back over.
She made a step and fell from balcony to be also to you. She's wearing a skirt. Her flesh is rotting. She's one of those types. No nose, stems of hairs only. She looked like she died 100 years ago, but the body was never refreshed on any level. Her immediate instinct just reach your nose and burn something inside your brains.
Mm.
Many flies follow her. She reached with her hands with red nails towards Malik. Slowly
I
and
put him
carefully
down.
taking him from you. She hugged you to her rotten breast, and she started to sing some lullaby. Shh, it's okay.
To you too, darling.
She moved backwards to you, to both of you, and she started walking with Malik on her hands. It's okay. She reached the first room on her right, where Malik, you can see a human being, unconscious. She lay you next to him. Then she slapped this person. You can barely see him in the darkness, but she slapped him, and that's wake him up. He started to scream, which the noise reached you guys. You could hear screaming from that place. In a matter of seconds, she ripped his throat and started squeezing him on you, shredding him above you. His warm blood will go not only to your mouth, but also to your wounds. Maybe it's a potence in her blood, but she started to squeeze him like a cloth. And that was the moment that not only you felt better, you felt disgust with her on a completely different level. He was screaming after death as well. You could taste that in his blood. The blood of after death. But don't that he's not afraid himself or enjoying it. Meanwhile, Giorgos and Rose, you feel observed from many angles. As your auspex and your auspex is working, you can see 3,000 eyes watching you. You are surrounded from every part of this cave. In a few moments, the shouts stopped. Sorry, repeat that.
A bunch of pretty faces, aren't they?
Pretty! That was many whispers from many sides. Few giggles coming from Echo. Yes, Joe.
Question to the counselor. Do I happen to see Kevin around?
You can see the posture of the hunchback. Yes. But you cannot see him clearly.
Oh.
You can guess that's him. And it's a 90% possibility that it is. Yes, Malik.
From feeding just then, how much of my hunger have I gotten rid of?
To 0.
Yeah.
As you click.
Am I allowed to heal any more?
You can test twice.
Perfect. Double success!
Okay. You regain the leg to the knee level.
Getting there.
Bring more. The echo of Darling's voice went through the cave, and you saw other rat and Nosferatu went into the other room. Then the metal noise and the begging, shouting of a young woman that they started to walk across the tunnels. They literally just pushed her into that room. Malik, you saw Darling catching the teenager. She took the first bite. She opened her neck for you. And she tossed her forward. The girl is moving. She is panicking. She's terrified. She's in pain.
Stop.
Obviously, Giorgos
Please.
close. You can hear that.
What the fuck is going on over there? Let's go check.
You entering the room or you standing indoors?
I go for the room. I want to take a glimpse inside. Not necessarily to go inside, but still, I want to see what's
So you are
happening.
witness to the scene. You see Darling standing next to Malik. You see one body, one corpse dismantled into the pieces, ripped off apart and squeezed from every single drop of blood. Another person, the girl, teenager who saw being dragged to the room, shouting, waving, crying, and bleeding out in Malik's hands.
No.
End her, Malik.
I'm sorry, lady.
No,
I grab her
you're
neck
not.
and just snap it.
So, in a few seconds, Georgios, you saw the girl looking at you with a broken neck that is twisted in a 180 degree.
I just lurch back and just.
Darling went on her knee and bit her on the other side of the neck, and they started to drink her together. Rose, someone touched you. You could see a Nosferatu with, like, you would say a carpet, but it's actually a just very stiff blanket over his head. Ugly as any other. Pale, with some dark veins on his forehead going down some kind of disease on the side. Like many pimples and crusts on his teeth. His mouth is extended that way with a knife, probably. He put his hand on your arm. He looked at you and you see very blue eyes. How's the little boy?
Again?
How's the little boy? How's my boy doing?
Your
Is
boy.
he okay? Is he okay? Is he okay?
Is
You
Malik's
know
your
my
boy?
boy.
Malik.
My boy.
Malik.
He started to hurting you with his arm, like dragging you towards himself. And believe me, he's strong. Yes, Malik.
After lurching back, can I see this over Giorgos' shoulder?
No, it's far away in the corridor. Giorgos can hear that, but you cannot. Going back to the scene. Where is my boy? He starts to lift you up.
I see this.
Yes.
Of course, I do not know the guy.
Of course.
You're just a little help here.
I just charged at the guy.
You charge at the guy and do what?
He has lifted her up, correct?
He grabbed her. She starts to move her aside. He grabbed her by her cloth and lift her above his hand.
I charged and grabbed him by the throat.
Do you have potence?
No, but I have mesmerism.
So you grab him by his... You do not lift him, you just grab him, yeah?
Yeah, I just grabbed him to give him like a mental break.
Mm-hmm. And what do you want to do with your mesmerism?
Actually, no, I will just use forget, just to confuse his mind
Okay.
for now. Forget about it.
Rose, you've seen the situation, the moment Giorgos came in front of him, grab him, and tell him that the Nosferatu let you go. You fell on your ass.
George is actively laughing right now. He's like,
The Nosferatu joined the shadows, but you could all hear. Where's my boy?
What's so funny,
He
Giorgos?
has a total fucking mental breakdown at this point because everything is over the fucking top.
Oh,
You can hear that.
From feeding again, can I heal again?
Yes, sir.
How many? How many
Due to,
dice?
due to the fact that your hunger is 0, I will just increase your hunger and say that you healed. So your hunger
My
is
leg
now
is
at
back.
level 2,
Mm-hmm.
but you are fully healed.
Perfect. Georges. I am rapid reflexing right in front of Georges.
Mm-hmm. You can see him on his knees laughing with the hands above.
I'm grabbing
Just
him by
laughing.
his face. I'm grabbing him by his face and I'm putting my forehead towards his. Take a deep breath, brother. Trust me
I
when I say
cannot
this.
take a breath!
I
This is
thought I
great.
wasn't handling things well.
He's just screaming his unbeating heart out of him.
Nah, Georges, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try and clomp him on the head to knock him out.
You know better that doesn't work on vampires. You cannot
Well.
stun a kindred this way. But in a second, you all pace down. You all get tired as the sun came up. You all
Damn
feel
it.
it. None of you can see it. You're all getting sick. You're all getting tired. Your body informing you that the storm is upon you. Darling came out from the room and showed you the room with the hand. You can sleep here for the night.
Thank you, darling.
Hurry. The sun is close. She moved away and joined the shadows.
Moving to the room, essentially, as quickly as I can.
Are you dragging Giorgos with you?
Yes.
Rose?
As I have Georgos in one arm, I am reaching my arm out to Rose. Come, my dear, this is no place to sleep.
Take Giorgos by the other side to help carry him into the room.
You went into
I
the
am
room when two of the horses lay down, the same room that Malik was in. You lay down on the floor, protected from the sun, yet not protected anyhow from others. You lay down between two corpses of Malik's previous victims. And you are very close to lick their blood from the floor. Yet, the day has begun and you closed your eyes, hungry and with a murderous thought of sensation of the blood. In a matter of seconds, your bodies have died. Your heartbeats slow down to the minimum. And Malik rose. You fell asleep. Giorgos, you did not. All day long, you've been there, thinking of Katarina, thinking of your daughter, thinking of Mistress. You could say it took you a day to put yourself together, and it's a lazy job done. But as a psychiatrist, you know it's a process. For the whole day, you will suffer penalty of -2 dice to every throw.
Can you repeat that?
For the whole night, you will suffer the penalties of -2 dice to every test for not being able to sleep.
Sounds appropriate.
The sun went down and the city started to live again completely different life. and your body's restored the purge of the cane in your blood. You saw them waking up. You hear the whole under city waking up. You heard more screams, and this is what wakes up the cookery. Begging, screams, cracking bones, and cries. You are in the same room, untouched. You can hear
I'm just
Masquerade.
sitting in the corner.
Sorry, repeat.
I'm just sitting in the corner, like staring at the wall.
Malik, Rose, you can clearly see.
Giorgos, you still with us?
Yes. But is it night? Is it day? I don't know. You fell asleep? I did not. The things I saw last night. Too much. What can I... Is Malik alright?
Yes, Georges, I'm fine.
Leg's looking much better. It's attached.
Thankfully.
Good.
Where
brand new
is
leg.
my voice? Shut the fuck up! You can hear someone, a voice you do not recognize, entering the hall.
Both of you stay here. Gather yourselves.
You can hear the wheels coming towards your direction.
I'm getting up and just taking a good look at Georges and just muttering to myself, I'm so sorry. Then leaving the room.
I am sorry. This was not supposed to happen.
None of this was supposed to happen.
The girl at my house died. The girlfriend of my daughter died. My daughter is supposed to die. My wife died, and I did not remember any of this. I cannot do this. Can't. Do I hear the person
Yes.
repeating, "Where is my boy?"
The person shut it up as commanded by other voice in the main lobby.
Okay. Everything is fine. It will pass. Sorry.
The person appeared in the entrance where Malik, you were going out, as you said. You met him in the middle. I would describe it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You see a person in a long trench coat, long dark hairs, a little bit wavy, pale face, with the sunglasses on. Little beard. Earrings in an eyebrow, Earrings in the nose, plenty of them in the ears. Hoodie with a Winnie the Pooh. Leather trousers, heavy boots, rough boots. He's with a wheel handle, having a coffin delivered to you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I am sent by Unrested.
Yes.
He came in with a coffin to the room. He looked at the call to you and his face turning. Unrested and his father sent his regard.
Obliged.
I should say, air regards. Please inform our sheriff that the parcel was delivered. He's waiting for a response from you.
I shall.
Please do it now.
I take out my phone. And open Unrested's information and just hit call.
Are you safe?
Yes, sir. Thank you deeply for your work.
Speak with you soon. Is there something
Thank you.
need?
Someone has delivered a package.
What packet?
A coffin, sir.
I did not send anyone.
Then who is standing in front of me right now?
Pass me the phone. He reaches for your phone, putting next to his ear. Good evening, Sheriff. Yes. Yes. The Primogen Council. Your father, sir. Yes, sir. You too, sir. You must back the phone. It's still a conversation on.
I'm just putting it down because my ring's still off my finger. Hold on.
Opened up in front of him. If it's a bomb, kill him.
Understood.
Do not trust my father. He disconnected the call. I can wait.
Georges,
Yes.
are you in control of your abilities?
I am.
Command him to stay still.
I will.
He approached you and looked deeply into your eyes. You see enormous level of confidence. The one that you used to have.
I envy him for some reason. Now stay put.
His arms just fell.
Thank you, Georges. Rose.
I want to search the person, what he has on him.
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
I want to search this person, what he has in his pocket.
Stuff. You found a pack of cigarettes, Zippo lighter, behind his back, 17th century rapier from the French army, a saber.
A sword.
Saber, yeah, kind of a sword. From the 17th century, maybe 18th century.
Okay.
It's got French insignias. You found a phone, And you found chewing gum. $300 in change. And the matches from a strip club.
Okay. As long as he's put, can I
He's still in your
phone and try to do some stuff with the phone?
With his phone.
Yeah.
It's locked.
Can I trace the fingerprints on the phone?
You find your way around, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll just have like a quick look in the messages.
You got a message, very recent, from tonight. Deliver the foundings to Malik, son of the unrested.
Mm-hmm.
Do not delay.
Mm-hmm.
Send them our regards, and then come back.
Okay. Anything else that could be interesting?
All the rest is deleted.
Okay. I put it back in his pocket and I'm like, forget about this. Okay.
Malik Rose, what are you doing?
I am drawing my blade and approaching the coffin. Rose, you may want to stand back.
The coffin is half burned. It is damaged.
I believe it's all right. I believe it's all right. He has the orders to deliver to you, and you have the regards. And he also has a fancy French saber on his person. Quite fancy.
Really?
Quite fancy. I could use that to top off Kevin's head.
Let us not disregard our hosts.
Yeah, I'm not
Giorgos.
talking right now. I'm not talking about right now. But...
Don't worry. You're not the only one who's wanted to behead Kevin on several occasions. I'm walking towards the coffin and sticking my long fingernails in the side of it and just kind of slowly jerking it open.
The moment you open the doors that much, the coffin just went fully open, and hundreds and hundreds of blue and yellow butterflies flew out from it, making your head turn everywhere in this cave.
No.
Average size blue and yellow butterflies, hundreds and hundreds, spreading everywhere, looking for the way out from the cave. It took them maybe 5-6 seconds to go to the main lobby to find the entrance and follow the fresh air. But you all jumped a little bit.
What on earth?
Well, I wasn't expecting that.
Well, tell me about not expecting that. What are the butterflies doing in here?
In the coffin is a woman. Woman that I will allow to describe herself by herself. Yet, Malik, you recognize the person. It is the child of Cassandra, the regent of the Tremere clan, Oxford. Please welcome Theodora. Theo, could you please describe yourself?
I am a woman of average height, around 160 centimeters. I have long dark hair that used to be put up into a bun, but now they're just hanging. I am rather thin, and I have a serious face that is currently slack as I am unconscious.
What are you wearing?
I am wearing a cream sweater and a long skirt.
Her sweater is full of blood, but coming out from the stake that is in her heart.
I'm just tossing my knife aside. She's one of the Tremere.
The Tremere! The Tremere! You hear the Nosferatus calling, whispering in between the spells.
Are you sure?
I am positive I know her.
She's not a thing blood then?
No, definitely.
Butterflies? What about the butterflies?
I don't understand about the butterflies.
Butterflies when you almost decapitated the other guy. And,
I am well aware.
and then you chopped off his head and goodbye.
This is the third time I've seen butterflies.
What's it? Give me a moment. When did you see butterflies?
When me and Rose went to Ian's van. And I kind of set it on fire. There were butterflies.
Where did you see?
In the
butterfly?
back of the van.
In the back of the van. You. Oh my god! You screwed this up.
I'm well aware, Giorgos.
Oh my god! She had information in there. We could have used it.
The information we need is possibly inside of my bag in those laptops. But I will get to that, but first, we must help her.
You should have told me that. You should have told me.
We've had a little
You
bit
should
going
have
on.
told me.
There's been a lot happening.
Around some things. I do not hold grudge against you for decapitating this guy because I understand that he pushed your buttons. But you cannot just act out of impulse and call me Coco crazy. Thank you.
Okay, one, I have never called you crazy, Giorgos. And two, I have never
called
been...
you Coco, which is practically the same. I do not call you that, but you can see the irony in this.
You all realize Kevin entered the room.
Kevin, what do you want?
My mom said
She's
that
not
she
here,
had a
Kevin.
snack for us. He looked at the coffee.
I'm picking my blade up off the floor.
He jumped off his bed. No, I'm just saying.
Anyone who comes near this coffin that is not my coterie will die to this blade. Do you understand me?
Yes. I'm just...
Leave.
I want to warn you. It's
Warning accepted.
if she stays here with us. It's better if she become our snack than his.
Then his.
He started running.
I've had enough of this place already. I hate my own clan, I hate myself, I hate being here.
Who is going to be which one's snack?
They want to feed on the Tremere, but I'm not going to let it happen. I'm reaching for the stake. I'm sorry, my dear, this is going to hurt.
Giorgos, are you... Stop, sorry. Giorgos, are you watching his action?
Like him trying to remove?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite intently. And
Rose,
I
where are
activated
you?
the sense the unseen just to see the whole picture.
Rose, where are you? What you doing? What do you observe?
I had kind of backed to the wall of the room to get away from Kevin because I'm rather disgusted by him. So
Therefore,
yeah,
please accept
back
my
covering my.
description that you slipped on the blood on the floor and you fell on the bodies.
Can we please get out of here soon?
George,
Yes.
the moment you lean next to Malik, facing Theo, you realize she have a crimson lipstick on her.
Not here too. She wears lipstick, correct?
Yes.
Please tell me if I'm wrong. I'm referring to the other players.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Yes.
she wear lipstick? Oh, thank goodness! I'm not crazy this time. Okay. Do I see anything similar
It's
to anyone else?
that
Oh,
lip.
cool.
Malik, you removing the stake. Am I correct?
Yes.
Theo, your conscience came back to you. You took a deep breath, realizing it was a fake one, yet you're still remembering that. You fell forward on Malik, who you recognized. You don't know how much time passed. You are confused. You are hungry. And you don't know where the fuck are you.
Herr Malik, where are we? What's happening?
Hello, Theodora. Don't worry, you're safe. I imagine you are very, very hungry.
You could say that, yes.
We'll get you something, don't worry.
Giorgos, Rose, please describe yourself.
You say a man around 170. Thick, long beard. You could guess that he is a serious man, but at this point he is literally messed up. Blood pouring from his eye, dried on his cheek. He had a rough night, a couple of nights, maybe days. You could literally see loose screws over him.
Rose?
So I am red hair, so dyed red hair, so very fake red hair. I look in my late 20s. I've got a piercing above my right eye, so you could tell that I work in a kitchen. It's quite apparent, especially as I'm trying to wipe blood off myself. You can see chef knives, tattoos, and things. And again, average height.
That was a quick glance on the rest of Malik's cutlery. You regain focus and balance for the time. Somewhere in the back of your head, the ink and blood, and the echo of your head of Ian words. I'm really, really sorry. The last thing that you remember.
Are you alright, my dear?
Not exactly. I'm a bit of a mess.
Welcome to the club.
I know where I am, so maybe let's start with that.
You're in the undercity of the Nosferatu, my dear.
Great, it just keeps getting better and better.
You're safe with us, don't worry. I will not let anything happen to you. What is the last thing you remember, my dear?
This thin blood man, he must have staked me. It's kind of blurry. His name was Ian, I think? Something like that.
Ian.
Ian. Yes. That
Yeah.
one.
Do you know
That's
him?
Yes, we do.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
About that.
What is your connection to Ian, Theodora?
Well, perhaps I should start the story from the beginning of that night. I was going about my business, making errands for my clan. I have been sent by Cassandra to take care of parts of my weekly routine, and as I was coming back, I have been jumped by
Ignore them, Theodora. Continue.
I have been jumped by a bunch of kind, I think. Seemed very much like a private company. They knew. I can assure you, they knew who I was. They were looking for me specifically. I was surrounded, and then I saw a white van just drive through the ring of the guys surrounding me, and the door opened. I jumped in. Has anyone seen the rest? Anyone? Tobias, Veronica, Cassandra, anyone? Any other Tremere?
You're the only Tremere I've seen in days.
Okay. When I boarded the van, he drove away, and then I think we lost the pursuers. He sat down with me. He told me that they were all gone. I couldn't believe it, but they would have turned up now if they were still around, wouldn't they?
I believe so, my dear.
I don't know how much I trust him. He's a Finblood. Finbloods in this city always headed out from the Tremere, and he said some stuff I don't want to believe.
What exactly did he say, my dear?
He said he saw it all. He saw it all, and he knows who did it. But I don't dare speak of it right now. Not here.
No. This is not the place.
Don't.
No, not here. There's too many ears and eyes on us right now.
Can we please get out of here? Fast.
Of course. That's a good idea. As I am just kind of looking at Theodora, I would like to activate Sense the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that requires a Roach check.
No.
No.
And what do you want to know from that?
How hungry she is.
She is on a hunger free.
Okay. I am going to leave the room, like pop my head out, and just kind of.
Darling, surrounded by 20 other Nosferatus, in the middle of the lobby. She just disconnected the phone call.
Darling, what is going on?
She looked at you. You can see her eyes are mesmerized. She starts going forward. She activates
Darling.
the potence in her hands, like the stream of energy pumped through her blood. All the rest of the Nosferatu starts running away, terrified of the elder of her son.
Shit.
Her eyes have no pupils, are blank, white. Malik,
Darling.
come here and I show you. Who's the boss now? She jumped.
I'm reaching for my blade to defend myself.
Test.
Here we go again! Dexterity and athletics?
Yes, please. You automatically dodge the first of her attack and you can do the counter. So melee and athletics.
Break for therapy, do we?
Melee
Sorry?
and athletics.
Melee and athletics if you making an attempt of attack.
Mhm.
Georgos, I didn't hear you.
We never take a break for therapy, do we?
No time for it.
If you ever
Not-
be so kind, can you
not
repeat
in
the
this city.
description about what happened right now because I could not hear you?
Not in the city.
Not in this city. Busy nights. Uh-oh.
See, from resting, have I regained any willpower?
No.
One success.
One.
I'm assuming my health track is back to normal, though, from healing, right? Okay, good. Not gonna last very long.
Two successes. So in the first seconds, one second. In the first seconds, you can see that she's jumping with the potence on him, dodging the first attack, giving an attempt on attack head, and she kick off his blade from his hands. Now, setting up the queue of turn. First reactor is a Rose, then Theo, then Georgos. Rose. What do you do?
So, how far away am I from the action?
Less than 2 meters.
Listen to me. Okie dokie. Did I see where the knife went? Okay. I will use my celerity to get the knife that's been taken out of Malik's hand and see if I can let's think about it. I want to try and pull her off of Malik.
You're grabbing the knife and you're grabbing her by her hairs or by her arm, hand.
I want to try and like get around the neck almost like that because I am pissed. I'm covered in blood. Like people have been touching me and I don't like it. So Rose is going to get pissed off and yeah.
Can you give me a test for dexterity and brawl?
Dexterity. My dex is 3 and brawl is 0. But I'm hoping to unlock my potence.
How do you do that?
Because of how angry I am, I'm hoping
We will
that
see if
given
it's gonna work.
yeah.
That's got nothing to do to the
try and-
test dexterity and brawl.
Okay.
Right. Do you want me to test it for you?
Yeah, just because I'm still learning all the dice stuff.
Your current hunger?
2, I believe.
2. 1 success. The counter, 2 successes, including 1 success. All right. You're holding her, but you know it's not for long. You can easily say that she grabbed you stronger than you grabbed her. In the nearest future, you will be tossed. Here. What do you do?
I'm going to try and assist Rose in holding Darling.
So test of brawl and dexterity. Would you like it to test it for me? Or would you like to test it for you?
Roll for me, please.
What's the pool?
What was it again?
Brawl and dexterity.
Okay, then it's 2.
So you do not have a brawl, yeah?
Nope.
0 successes. But you also hold her, yet she grabbed you as well. Go. What do you do?
Question. Can I see if Kevin is around?
Plenty of Nosferatu is around, but they running and they escaping the place.
Kevin is not around then.
It's maybe one of those, not in your reach. You see them attacking the member of the Primogen.
I will try to do this one thing. I will go at the front of her while Rose is holding her. Trying to cloud her memory, and while the brain processes it and either accepts it or not, I will stake her.
Okay. Well, due to the fact that she's holden stake, it's not a test. You did have a stake in your inventory, so it's also not a problem. The only question in here is memory. So, in that matter, we will test your resolve and insight plus your domination.
Okay.
Can I have your pool, please?
Dominate and
Dominate, insight, and resolve. Manipulation.
Right.
Sorry, manipulation.
Oh, dominate and manipulation 6. And I would like to
And
spend the
insight.
willpower in case I do not have
1
enough
second.
successes.
Insight, dominate, and manipulation is 6. Yeah.
Oh no! Plus with insight, it's 10.
Oh, the full dice is 10.
And if I know, I could spend the willpower just in
That
case.
depends on stuff. Do you still got willpower?
I believe I have. Give me a moment.
Your hunger
Oh yeah,
is 3.
I have plenty.
Okay, so I'm making a test. Dice pool is 10, hunger is 3. You got
And this
4 successes.
4?
4. You got 5 blanks, including 1 hunger. Do you want to use the willpower?
I will use a willpower at this point. After the
you
previous
can reroll
night, I am going
3
to do
dice.
it my way.
One success. That's altogether 5 successes.
Okay.
You saw Giorgos, who went in front of you, Malik, and with whole body stake her, saying, "Forget." And the grab on you, ladies, loosed. Her eyes turned to normal and closed.
Christ. Good work, Giorgos.
Can I let go now?
Yeah, I'm assuming you can, my dear. Can I have my knife back, please? Thanking you. What the fuck is going on?
Do I happen to stake her after the dominate?
You didn't know what was first. She is staked.
Hmm?
She is staked, yes. And the
Okay.
dominate definitely took an effect.
Okay. Okay.
Is everyone all right? Good.
Yes. My apologies for this. Extend my apologies to her later on when she's more like
Yes,
herself.
yes. I agree. Kevin.
Nothing happened.
Kevin!
The only Nosferatu in the room is the old man with its cysts on his feet.
I'm gonna just
Talking
approach
to
him.
himself. Where is my boy?
Oh, Christ, okay. Maybe I'm not going to approach him. I'm going to reach out in my bag and pull out my journal. And just kind of write. I'm sorry, my dear, for all that has happened. Hopefully when you come to, you will contact me and let me know that you're okay. Sincerely, Malik. I'm just going to leave it, like, tuck it somewhere on our person. Right.
Could you
I
do a rouse
suggest we
check,
leave.
Malik, please?
Hmm?
Could you do a rouse check?
Mm-hmm.
Should I?
Success.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. I suggest we leave here. I don't quite like the company I keep anymore.
Yes, George.
They mentioned something about grabbing a mortal to feed, correct?
You've seen where they're taking the bodies from.
I would like to have a look. If she's still alive, I would like to attempt and take her with me.
Anyone follows Georges? Just decided to dwell the rot's tunnels?
Georges, where are you going?
They had someone to feed upon, and they do not deserve it. Plus, I need to find Kevin. We need to have a talk.
Georges, now is not the time.
Mister, whatever it is, I'm sure it can wait.
Trust me, Georges, now is not the time. Theodora needs help. We have to leave.
We still
Yeah,
don't
sure, we can
have
help
everyone.
everyone. Look at how well we do with that.
I know, Georges, but trust me, now is not the time.
Fine. Let's go.
I apologize sincerely, but now is not the time.
It's fine.
I'm pulling out my phone and I'm messaging Unrested. Is my haven secure and ready?
You receive the immediate response. Of course it is.
Thank you, sir. Where will I pick up the keys?
You got the address. And PIN. Like there's no key, there's like a code to enter.
Appreciated, sir. I will call you once I am at my haven. Actually, no. Would you be able to meet me at my haven?
No.
I will call you once I arrive then.
But when you're gonna be there, turn on the TV.
Okay. Speak soon. We have a destination. Let us get moving.
Do you decide to still follow the corridors, or are you staying?
We leave. But Kevin, I'll have to deal with him at some point. Do you understand?
Yes, Giorgos. And when it comes to that time, I will accompany you. Don't you worry about that.
So nice, so nice. Good to have your leg back. Good.
I am quite fond of it myself. Alright. This is where we are going. I just show the address. Let's just make for the car, if it is still there.
Theo and Rose.
Let's move.
Would it be
address.
wise to use the same car?
I suppose. I'm unsure. Question to storyteller: how far of a distance is it? Is it walking distance or is it?
No.
No. We need the car.
Specifically, how all bloody you are now, covered with blood everywhere. You and Rose, Giorgos on the face, Theo from the sweater. Everybody on you got marks of blood. You are dirty of it. You smell of it.
Very well. We need the car. Let's just hope we don't run into. Bless you. Let's hope we don't run into any trouble.
You
Theo
sneak
is the
past.
name. Is your name Theo?
What?
Your name. I did not catch your name.
My name's Theodora Reich. Dr. Theodora Reich.
Oh. Two doctors walking in the shores. Dr. Giorgos Dimakopoulos. I wish we could meet under better circumstances.
Likewise.
You read his paperwork. Came across in your findings in Berlin about schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder. Very, very good. I would say brilliant. You know, he even received one of the most prestigious awards. Like
I've read
10
your
years ago.
work, Doctor.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
thank you. It did not help me.
This conversation had placed on the way out of the run. And soon enough, you realize that the car park is full of people now. Full of cars. Whoever could put the hood on or just covered the blood, and as soon and as swiftly as possible you reached to your car. That is where you left it. Who is the driver?
Rose, do you feel like driving again, my dear?
Sure thing.
Please do.
Who's it up front?
I will take up front.
Therefore, Theo and George are on the back.
Yeah.
Everybody agree? Great. Rose, you following the GPS. Staying to the regulations of the traffic. Trying to drive as normal as possible. Correct? Well,
If possible, also taking back roads so that cars not seen on as much CCTV.
Sure.
Seen as there was a copter looking at it from above.
the distance should took you half hour. Took you way much more. Take you nearly an hour to get there. Due to the diverted traffic, blocked areas, and military on the street. Plenty of roadblocks, plenty of car checks. You see cars from CDC, white vans, hazmat people, accompanied by military, armed military. Some people's rioting out there, like you have no rights, and then just being moved away, pushed away from the district that it's closed, which is the district of the city center. And traffic went really long. You couldn't drive more than 5 miles per hour for the majority of the time. You used every back alley that you could to escape the search cars checkpoints. But you managed to do that as a person was born. Within an hour, you reach Eddington district. And it's one of many the same building houses. Very popular in England. A lone house on one of the quiet sides. The one with the garage, front doors and back garden. This is the address.
Here we go.
To the doors there was a box. You typed it in, you opened the box, there were key inside.
Lovely.
Wait here. I'm gonna park the car somewhere elsewhere so that don't attract attention to this place. So I just like drive it round a corner and head back up.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, you feel like at home in a nearly empty house. No furnitures. But kitchen, got a freezer and a fridge, in which you found the blood bags. Upstairs, 2 bedrooms, all windows sunproofed, if you know what I mean. Nothing more. Even a chair. Yes.
I want to ask you something, Rose.
Yep.
Because I have some suspicions here. Yeah, may sounds like out of time, but still. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you had like a flashback from your embrace. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Just her voice clear as day.
Yeah.
And it is definitely the voice of... Well, it sounded like the voice of my assistant manager.
What did you
Who's the
hear?
boss now? Who's the boss now?
No, listen to that. That's what Darling said as well, correct?
Yes, that's partly why I was angry.
We have the same fucker here again. Look at that. Look at that.
It did not escape my attention.
Mm.
Yes, Malik.
That's why I didn't stick the knife in her neck.
Is there any like change of clothes or anything inside the haven? No.
That is completely empty.
Is there running water?
Yes.
Perfect. Malik is going to... going to approach the fridge and as many blood bags that are in there, just hand them out to everyone. I assume everyone is a little bit famished.
Thank you.
Everyone grabs a bag, yeah? Please decrease your hunger by 1. Theo, you can decrease it. Use your drink, yeah?
Mm.
I'm going to have a look around and just get a feel of the place. While I'm doing so, I am going to call Unrested from another room.
Mm-hmm. You went to one of the empty rooms.
Mm.
Yes. He answered immediately.
Good evening, sir. I have Theodora Reich in my presence.
Who's that?
Hmm?
Who's that?
She's a Tremere, sir.
No, Tremors survived, and I never heard of that.
Okay. We were just attacked by Darling.
What have you done?
Nothing, sir. She attacked us. Her eyes were not her own.
I will send someone to investigate that. In the meantime, have Sebastian contact you.
At once, yes.
I cannot reach him.
I think, due to what happened at Privilege, that might be a bit of a task right now, sir.
That might be a problem. Because without him, we got sorry for the sun sentence running across the city. Was taking that is fulfilled with hostile humans.
If I may be so bold, sir, do you have any location of Giuseppe?
No.
That is unfortunate.
There's a part of Oxford that completely lost power yesterday. Signal. I suppose that was his friends. So I
I believe so.
have the glimpse of in which neighborhood he's hiding. But
I do hope he is alright.
you do not understand, Malik. The prince called the blood huntsman.
There must be something I can do, sir.
Yes. You can stake him and bring him to justice as the Archon.
It was not his doing, sir.
It was the breach of the Masquerade.
There must be something else. Surely.
Well, dozens of kindreds hunt him already. So it's the best if he will do what he's doing good, which is hiding.
Who is the leader of the hunters?
Sebastian.
Question to storyteller, do I have Sebastian's phone number?
Yeah.
I will contact Sebastian after this call.
I just told you I cannot reach.
Then I will go and find him myself.
You do that. In the meantime, I will remind you that Prince wished your presence tomorrow for the exam.
Yes, sir, I'm aware.
So maybe focus on that.
Yes, sir.
Do you like what you found in the basement?
In the basement.
Enjoy. He ended the conversation.
There's always a blood hunt. Why can't they just... I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's fine. It's okay. I can handle this. No one has to die. No one else has to die.
Malik,
Right.
what happened?
Returning to the group. I need to check the basement.
In the living room, yeah? Or in the kitchen?
Wherever they're... I imagine it's just one big empty place, so...
Yeah.
I need to check the basement, and then I need to speak with you all. Rose, hold on to that ring, please. I'm going to the basement.
Where's the entrance?
I'm looking. I don't indeed. Can I make a roll to hear anything or search?
There's no basement in this building.
Basement. I'm going to check the garage.
You can see a car inside and some tools, but no entrance to the basement. The car is very posh. You would call like Jaguar or something like that. Limo kind. Worth more than £250,000.
Right.
Yep.
Come here, my dear. I have a gift for you.
Ooh, shiny.
I assume the keys are somewhere around.
They're inside the inside the engine.
Not bad.
As you are somewhat a designated driver, this is now yours.
Probably worthwhile having a car with plates on it.
That is very true, yes. I'm going to check the back garden. See if I can find any sort of...
Nicely trimmed, some flowers on the side, a wooden brick around brick walls.
Basement.
Nothing special.
Where is the basement? I'm literally just talking, muttering to myself out loud as I walk through the entire house. Looking a bit nuts, to be honest.
As he walks past me, I'll be like, "Can't Giorgos help with things like that?" He seems to be finding things.
Pacing back and forth, and I'm like, "Do you need help with something?"
Yes, if you would be so kind.
Yes, tell me.
I am looking for the basement, but I can't find it. And Resta told me to look in the basement, but I can't find a fucking basement, and I'm losing my mind.
And I thought you were into therapy. Okay, I'll help you with that. I activate Sense the Unseen, and I just look around for the
The
basement.
moment his eyes flashed with flames. Well, Georgios, you see the unseen in front of your very person. You see the naked ginger girl pointing you with finger and whole hands towards the thermostat that is in the living room.
Really? Look at that.
What do you see,
remember
George?
that girl? Do you remember her? Do you remember that family?
Oh no, not again.
She's here again, and she's pointing at the thermostat. Let's see what happens. She's pointing at this thermostat.
Very well, Georges says this is your eyes that have seen it. I will let you adjust the thermostat.
I think the thermostat needs to be well oiled. It's okay. Try this one out.
You start rolling
I
with
take
them,
it
start moving.
private bit, so I will not follow you downstairs.
Appreciated.
In a few seconds, you realize the thermostat over can be easily removed. You can see another pin lock.
I assume I shall just use the one that I used to get the keys.
You turn to the correct order, and you all can hear the air coming down from the high-pressure doors. Part of the floor starts to moving down, collapsing as a step.
Now that is more like it.
Impressive.
I just make my way down.
You went downstairs. First, what you saw was the plastic foil on the entrance, holding any kind of smell and etc. Then bars that were open, and large room with a massive screen, with a sofa, with a bar side, with the armory, a shelf full of guns and rifles, knives and blades.
Wow. All of you, come and you must see this.
Approximately 8 shelves that look like a good resting place, closing from the inside. A funnel with a CCTV around the whole neighborhood. That is working, obviously. A laptop that is connected.
Yes, very impressive. Can we look now?
Yes, question to storyteller, is there clothes down here?
Is there
Clothes, like a wardrobe or anything?
Yeah.
Everyone, you may change into whatever you may like. I imagine we all need to spruce ourselves up. What we've just been through.
Do you spot a shower or bathroom on your walkabout?
Yes.
It's upstairs, not in here.
Okay.
But the fresh towel here.
Don't care about towels, I just want to wash the Undercity, you call it?
Yes.
Undercity off of me.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone else may need so, please. I will wait. I change my clothes. But that is all I do, I just change my clothes because I am Nosferatu and I don't have to worry about this stank.
I grab a set and make my way to upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Giorgos, Tokyo.
I'm gonna wait for Rose to be done with a shower and take one myself.
Mm-hmm.
Very
For the
quickly
time
and
you're resting
efficiently.
on the sofa or you're standing next to the door?
I
What's your
am
current
standing
position?
next to the door.
Giorgos?
I just change clothes. I just use a towel to,
Dry wash your
clean my smeared face and change clothes.
Rose went upstairs. Giorgos changing the clothes, Malik changing the clothes. Tio is waiting. Uncomfortable silence starts to live between you for at least a couple of minutes until you're redressed.
Right. I guess we shall talk about what me and Unrested just discussed.
Yes.
This is not going to be easy. So, as we all know, the Masquerade should never be breached. Under any circumstance. Giuseppe has breached the Masquerade and there is a blood hunt on his head.
Who's Giuseppe?
Shit.
Another member of our coterie, my love.
She is the stuntman of the group.
Yes.
Good guy, but yesterday was messed up.
Yes, it was. I have also to be with the prince tomorrow, as I have to execute someone.
Oh,
Execute. Have you perhaps become an Archon, Herr Malik?
I am the Archon, my dear, yes.
yeah.
As it was expected.
Promotion, hooray.
Sebastian.
Rose,
Sebastian is hunting Giuseppe. No one can get in contact with Sebastian or Giuseppe. An entire neighbourhood of Oxford has gone dark. Under any circumstances do my next words leave none of your lips. Do you understand?
Rose joined you in the room.
Hmm?
Rose joined you in the room. With a towel around her head and towel around her body.
That's better. What
I'll come back, my dear. I fell her in what I've just said.
Theo, you're going to the bathroom, yeah?
Yes.
Good.
Theodora went upstairs.
Theodora is the only... I just continue speaking, I guess. Theodora is the only possible living Tremere left in Oxford. Under any circumstances, no harm must come to her. On the other hand, however, I will not let Giuseppe die for my mistake.
Yeah, I second that. Plus, you said you have to execute somebody. Who is that somebody?
I believe it is Rose's sire.
Oh, nice. So nice.
What
And
now?
so convenient.
Yes, my dear, I believe I have to execute your sire.
You know who my sire is?
We might
Apparently-
know.
Apparently they do, yes.
We might know now. Theodora can do something to recognize the clans and the generation, correct?
I believe so. She is of the Tremere, yes.
Perfect. If we know the person, maybe, just maybe, can she recognize who the sire is? Maybe. I'm not sure about this one, but still we have plenty of hints here about who did this to our dear Rose.
To the best of my knowledge, Tremere can only determine the clan. I don't know anything about the sire itself, but...
Clan and generation, that should suffice.
yes.
It goes down the options.
Now, again, if I have to, I will defend Giuseppe with my life. He is a member of my coterie and I have responsibility.
Same.
The problem with this, however, is Sebastian is strong. I myself am no weakling, but how best to word this? If I kill Sebastian through any means necessary, it will be me that will be having the blood hunt. I will no longer be the Archon, and no one will be left to protect you. So I am leaving it to you guys. What should I do?
Theodora, you joined the room after washing yourself. Also just with a towel on the head and towel around your body. You feel fresh and wet.
I'll come back, Theodora. There are clothes. I just point in the general direction of the clothes. You may dress yourselves and we will continue conversations. Until then, I take my bag out and just kind of ruffle through and pull out one of the laptops.
Jan's laptops.
Mm-hmm. How the hell do you use this thing? Just kind of open it and just kind of putter about till I can figure out how to use a laptop
Password.
because.
Before you even enter the windows, it asks you for a password. Clearly
Thin bloods
signing
and
that
passwords.
Ian's IT skills were better than yours.
Bollocks. Thin bloods. I'm gonna try and put in butterfly.
Password accepted.
Who's the genius now, Thin blood? I'm gonna just look around the laptop for files, notes, anything I can find that would be of
You
relevance.
see plenty of documents about the creature called the God of Moths.
What
King of
is
butterflies.
this?
The goddess of the blood.
What is
As
this?
she will and have been imprisoned in the Oxford, in the Golden Church, enslaved in a human form, awaiting her rescue by the Butterfly Knight.
None of this makes sense to me.
You see a script, pictures of the script, stating that the blood of the elders will thin, and blood of the thins will become elder.
What?
Plenty
Which is
other
not possible.
pictures that you could date as an ancient millennium, stating enslaved woman in a circle and worshippers around her. It does look a little bit Egyptian, you would say. At least Middle East.
I'm gonna look around for any information on Rose's sire on the laptop. If not, I'm just gonna start pulling out USB drives and just.
You found USB on you with pictures, details, informations. You saw the same about Unrested, the same about Cassandra, the same about dozens of kindreds in a city. Some pictures even done in Elysium.
How on earth did he have access to this information?
You saw in a USB with your name on it in a folder, you saw your picture from up close during the day while you've been sleeping.
My instant reaction is to go for my blade.
Rose enters the room dressed again, sees Malik's reaction, and goes, "What have you seen?"
Myself.
Well, yes, but what's on the laptop?
Have a look for yourself. I'm getting up and I'm just pacing around the room because I am pressed.
Oh, it really is you. Wow. How?
I'd like to know that myself.
Look like you used to have a stalker.
As you work with and against thin bloods, you find they are very resourceful.
I do not regret killing that man anymore.
Pyle and sure this is all very clear for you all. I have no idea what's happening. I would like some clarification, please. What has your coterie been tasked with? What happened during the time I was gone?
May I fill you in?
Yes, please.
See, a couple of nights before, we were as we were staked. And we woke up in the middle of a cemetery. They removed the stakes from us. Dear Lady Rose from here, our friend Giuseppe, and me. It was the unrested death squad. He came along with Malik over here. He picked the three of us and took us forward. I do not remember other people other than us. And then they executed everyone else. The place was full with dust and ashes. And he mentioned that he found us to be useful to help him with stuff. He assigned me to train Rose from here, since she is a fledgling. She has been embraced illegally. We have to find her sire and put an end to him as well. And Malik here is responsible for all of us. And that's just for starters. Okay? We have seen murdered people inside my haven. I think that was not of my doing. Giuseppe mentioned the Sabbath, saying hello.
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
There has been signs of the Sabbath in the city.
Yes.
Oh,
The way it was executed screamed Sabbath to him.
I need to take care of something. I get up. I go out the door.
She started walking out.
Did we stop her?
Please be patient.
Leave her be, she'll be fine.
Okay,
Please
so
be patient. We do not know Rose's clan. We assume she's a Toreador since he has exposed a certain set of skills. But we do not know if she is indeed. We just assumed. And we do not know her generation either. So it's kind of difficult to know who did this.
Giorgos, you realize you're talking to the wall because Theodora left.
Yeah.
She literally stand up and left, and you've been talking to the air.
I was like, maybe looking at the ground, and then I'm like, where did she go?
Yes, she left, Georges. Before you began your little tangent.
Anyone follows her?
Yeah.
I will go. You guys stay here. I do not know how to work this thing. If you can find anything, I suppose maybe information on your sire might be there, Rose.
I'll give it a go. Unless you're any good with technology, Giorgos.
Yes.
I'll let you have a crack.
I follow Theodora.
Theo, you are fully aware that you're being followed? Yes.
Do I have my phone with me?
No.
Okay.
You got nothing other than clothes that Malik gave you.
Theodora, do you
Some
need
kind of
anything? Can I?
Tell me, Malik, have you perhaps met the prince?
I have indeed, yes.
And what is your impression of him?
He doesn't look at me like a monster.
Do you think he's a dangerous man? Do you think
I think
he
all-
would?
I think
he
all-
would kill us without thinking about it twice?
Oh yes, I believe so.
Good, because that's what he will do if what I think might have happened happened. So please assist me on this. I need a ride.
I assume, I hope you can drive yourself because I can't drive, my dear.
I can drive. I can drive quite okay, I think.
If you need to contact anyone here, I just get on my phone.
The only person I could contact is unrested. So I don't think that's needed. Shall we?
Let me inform the others. I go back downstairs. Me and I...
You barely stop because you've been talking that something might happen downstairs. While they went off, you two sitting down to the laptop, one of many, and you dwelling on the documents that was in Ian's possession. And what subject are you looking for? The butterflies? Any specific kindred that exists on the files? Or the church?
I take it in that order. First, Tremere. What about the disappearances?
Regarding the Tremere clan, you only got names. So Tobias, Cassandra, Theodora, separated files, pictures, all that kind of stuff. When born, when died, when embraced, by who embraced, where embraced, by who gave the permission for that, all that kind of stuff. Full reckon.
Good. So, alright, after that I want to search about the church.
Out there is mostly information about Zoltan Khan. That's the only file that did not have pictures. Information about Zoltan Khan. Map. Where he could be. But no pictures of.
And since he has like a person-by-person record, I would like to have a look about Kevin, my daughter, and Lynn Space. Maybe he has something about them.
Nothing about Lynn Space. Your daughter are only pictures from your flat. Nosferatu got notes. Why Nosferatu hiding? Where is Darling? Is she as Darling? Why Unrested took Malik? Who is Jezebel?
Jezebel?
That's his
name. Sebastian? I will try with Sebastian. See what can I find for him.
Andrew, son of Mr. Brooks, ex-sheriff who been promoted to the Timodan member. It's the best to drag the attention of the hunters towards him.
Alright. Oh, by the way, he has a coterie. What about his members? The members of the coterie?
Nothing on them.
Nothing on them.
Malik came back to the room while both of you have been reading.
Me and Theodora are stepping out for a moment. Both of you find out as much as you can. You have your phones. If you need me, please contact me. Rose, do not lose that ring. Thank
Which
you.
car are you taking?
Theodora,
Yeah.
which car would you like to take, my dear?
Let's take the one we came with. I would rather not lose the fancy one.
Okay.
I throw the keys towards Malik.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this
Thank
is
you.
my car I'm trading with here. Does it even have the license plates on it? Jesus Christ. I just double check on this. The car is beaten as fuck at this point.
Yes.
Question to Storyteller: is there any license plates here?
No.
No. Well,
Well, she removed the license plates once we came to the Undercity, but we're not stupid enough to throw them away. We stored them.
Yeah, you got them in the trunk.
So
You can put that.
Maybe.
imagine a car without plates in the middle of the city. No.
we will be careful.
Rose. In the meantime, your phone rings. You recognize the number. It is saved in your phone. It is your lawyer, the one who helped you out set up the business.
Ooh, this could be interesting. Let's see how this goes. Hello.
Madam Hathaway, it is really awkward. First of all, I'm glad you are okay. Second of all, I just came back from the conversation with the head of the police department, and I confirmed that all the charges has been dropped from you. And
Well, that's a weight off of my mind. Thank you.
I would recommend to sue them back for the inconvenience cost, loss of business, and all of that.
Of course. I
will-
can assume that you can look into the specific
Of
things
course,
that I'll
of
need.
course,
For
I'll
that.
just need some signatures and statement for the TV and press.
Okay.
Are you happy to do it by yourself, or would you like me to speak with them?
If you could speak with them for the moment, just I think it's best I kind of stand back a little bit while it blows over.
I would recommend to state that you've been outside of the country for the time.
That could work.
Yeah, so therefore we're gonna clear that out. And how much would you like me to state to the court that, we should charge them for? How much we should claim?
Ooh, I don't know about that. How much business do you think that we have that I could have lost out on?
I will need to look into the matter, but I will not go lower than £2 million.
Okay, that's a good ballpark there.
So,
One thing, have you heard from the assistant manager at all? I've been trying to get hold of them.
I thought he's outside of the country as well.
Okay, right. No problem.
I can look into the matter, but no, I didn't keep tabs on him.
No pressure, no pressure.
So, right, please do avoid any contact with the press. I will put an official statement in a Times and Guardian and all the local TVs. I'm glad that things came out this way. And between you and me, Rose, I don't know how you pull it up, but well done.
I thank you. I have my ways, you know this. Anyway, I'll thank you for contacting me. That's, like I say, a big weight off of my shoulders, so... And yes, I'll be keeping a low profile.
I'll call you if I will know or need anything regards the paperwork.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Goodbye. Bye.
That sounded eventful.
Well, the police seem to be off my case. So,
Fantastic.
yes. Oh, also, didn't someone say we should turn on the TV or something?
Oh, yes.
The lawyer mentioned the media and things to me, so of course I was just, need to double check what's being publicised at the moment, so...
Theodora!
Come downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I was instructed to turn on the TV while I'm rested, so I think we should all be here for this.
Right?
I find the remote and just...
The first channel, there's some drama you skipped, then some comedy you skipped, then some music channel you skipped, then American CNN, and they're talking about the Oxford.
That can't be good.
No.
Newsflash, stating about the disease spread in Oxford that came out from the laboratory of medical university. Hundreds and hundreds of people on a quarantine. The government states that it's not deadly, but it's severe, and they're trying their best to contain it. At the moment, it's knowing that it's blood affecting, and affected people go crazy. It's paralyzed nerve in the brain, which can be restored to the normal. Whole neighborhood of Oxford is closed. Yes, Malik.
Can I make a roll to see if there's anything to do with the place inside of Oxford University where I met the prince the first time?
Again, sorry, I didn't catch your question.
Can I make a roll to determine if this has anything to do with the prince or unrested when I met the prince the first time when I went through that passage in Oxford University?
No. It's not that part of this.
Alright, okay, cool.
No. It's mostly the place where you have been yesterday is a corner of that space.
Right.
It's looked like a big lie to cover why military is searching the buildings out there.
It's all a cover-up. Due to what happened yesterday.
What is it that happened yesterday?
Yes.
A lot.
Yes. A lot happened yesterday. One of our coterie gave in to his beast. And I went toe-to-toe with a werewolf.
Lost the leg.
Lost the leg. It's back now, thankfully. I'm just gonna slap my leg.
Well, that was a foolish choice.
Who were the guys with the crosses? Like big white crosses?
Well,
The crosses were red.
Red, sorry. Red
Yeah,
crosses.
You can edit this out if you need to. Am I allowed to mention the Inquisition?
Are you? And when you think Templar Order, what do you think if not Inquisition?
Alright, okay.
It's a Templar cross, isn't it?
Back to it. I believe it is the Inquisition.
Nobody expects a Spanish. Wait, really?
Especially the
Inquisition.
magician.
Oh yes, my dear. Humans that don't very much like kindred. It's been going on for centuries.
They're a huge pain in the ass.
Very much
Yes,
so.
Giorgio.
Question to storyteller. Do I have the number of Emilia Grace, the doctor from the hospital?
Yes.
I would like to contact her if we used to have regular contact and it's not
Of course.
suspicious or anything.
It's
I would like to
your
give
human,
her a call.
isn't she?
Yes,
She answered the
is.
phone. You can hear her cat on her knees, purring while she's stroking him. But with the other hand, she's definitely mixing a tea. You can hear the spoon hitting the glass. You're on a speakerphone.
Yeah. Emilia. Emilia. Good
Long
evening,
time
my
no
dear.
hear.
Yes, indeed. Busy days. I heard about the hospital. What happened there? I just wanted to check up and see if you're all right.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm good. I'm not near the case. It's not my jurisdiction, but there have been some severe situations.
Thank God you're safe.
Quite ugly. There's plenty of
Okay.
police involved. Don't know why.
All right.
How are you?
So I have been busy the last couple of weeks, so pardon me if I haven't contacted you. I would like to meet you at some point once I have
heard-
more time.
I heard a few of your patients has been arrested.
Of my patrons?
Your patients.
Patients? Arrested? Why?
Well, they couldn't withhold themselves. You skipped a few meetings. You stopped showing up for the appointments. Is everything alright?
Well, I have to deal with some things, and the appointments have gone, have taken the second seat at the point, and it's not exactly what I like. But I have to figure things out.
I'm so sorry about your secretary.
Well, what about her?
She went missing. Is everything alright with you, George? I do not recognize you. You're
Well,
always
things
so
might
careful
confusing.
for everyone and empathical. You seem very busy, yes, I understand, but she went missing for over 2 weeks. Nobody saw her.
And I had no catch of this.
You have no idea why.
Maybe because we didn't. Okay. Yeah. Things.
She always make me this fancy coffee when I come to your place.
Yes, it tends to do that, but I don't know what happened with her, and that's why I'm running around like crazy right now.
That's bad.
So
My son must fancy her.
yeah, I know.
I told her that
All
she
right.
cannot trust Ginger one.
Yeah,
Never
that's the
listened to
one. Yeah. Okay. Glad that you're all right. We
I
will talk
am.
again soon enough.
Thank you for checking up on me.
Okay. Take care. Have a
See
good
you
day.
soon. Bye. You disconnected and you dropped your phone.
Okay. Police is heavily involved in the hospital for some reason.
Great.
I learned that my patients are getting arrested.
Are your patients healing?
Correct me if I'm wrong. And that I had a secretary that has been missing since 2 weeks. And I do not remember that.
What is the name of your secretary, Giorgos?
World's greatest boss right now.
Huh?
World's greatest boss right now. No name.
I just searched for papers that I used to have, in my wallet, like business cards and shit. So, if I don't remember,
You got your
so
business
that I
card, yeah?
can remember.
The Marco Polo Clinic. The Hatteras. Hey, you got your business card.
Yeah. Do I remember anything about that?
Yeah, your clinic.
Do I remember something about the secretary?
No. Do you even believe in your brain? Do you trust yourself? Can you trust yourself?
I do not know. At this point, I literally do not know.
Yes, Mike.
Did we hear him having a phone call?
Yes.
Did we hear the phone? Did we hear, like, on the other line?
Yes.
Okay.
What does
Right,
the
well,
company do?
I assume you two can find as much information about this laptop while me and Theodora do whatever it is, I look to Theodora, we need to do.
Yes.
Right, well, I am not going unarmed, even though this knife is lovely and all. I'm going to the armory. I'm looking for the biggest, sharpest blade I find, and I'm strapping it to my other thigh.
You took jungle machete.
Now this. You're coming with me. Mwah.
Nearly a
I
two-hand
join-
weapon for you.
I join him in the armory.
Mm-hmm.
Would you also happen to have something smaller I could use?
I assume there's like a set of small knives. I hand you like 3.
Thank you.
Like,
Anyone else that needs any sort of defense? Help yourselves.
Why'd you say that? Yes. I will need something. I'm not
you
exactly
reaching for
combat.
grenade launcher, yeah?
Yeah, grenade lancer, hooray!
Georgos, Georgos, maybe something a little more subtle.
I'm joking. Do you think I'm the type that would use a rocket launcher?
Do you want me to answer that seriously?
I will take a couple of pistols and 2 knives.
Rose, do you help yourself with the weaponry?
Do you happen to have like a bulletproof vest? I'm squishy.
There's probably a Kevlar vest here somewhere, yes.
What's left to take from then? After
There's
everyone's
plenty
taken
of
theirs.
submachine guns, rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns, rocket launcher, grenade launcher, loose grenades.
Are there any other knives left?
Few.
Yeah, Rose is drawn to the knives.
There's a selection
She's a
of
chef.
scalpels.
Like guns, nah. But knives, yeah.
And the shotgun. You said something about the shotgun.
Sure. Pump action.
Okay.
And automatic. Whatever you do,
Remember-
whatever you pick, please tell me and update your inventory.
Remember, everyone, these things are meant for defense, not offense. Don't go blowing holes in my house.
And after that,
Yeah.
We don't want more windows.
No.
and after that, Coterie splits into 2. One travel to the location, Tia, am I correct?
Yes.
And the other side stays in the bunker. Safe and sound. Who's holding the laptop?
Say if we've maybe got it like on the desk in front of us or something,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can both have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, weapons-wise, I picked up a decent-sized knife for close combat, and then a couple of throw-in knives, just in case.
What do you do?
Is this me and Giorgos?
Yeah.
Did Malik leave the other USBs?
Yeah.
Found? Cool. So yeah, start going through that in a bit more the USBs in a bit finer detail.
You found file about Boris.
Boris.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's been a while since I've heard his voice. What's up with him?
He's a werewolf, according to this information.
He's a lupine?
One that deal
Malik.
with the kindreds. One that deal with the golden god. Part of them, as mentioned in the notes.
Shit! Perfect! Where is Malik?
He went off.
Who?
He went off with Theo.
Jesus Christ. You know, we need to grab some silverware on our way to wherever we go. This fucker here, the one who works with Dimitri, you know him. He's a fucking lupine.
Another one.
Another one, yes.
This is the other thing is there's a lot of media about at the moment. I need to keep my face hidden.
Yes, you do.
So we definitely need to think of a plan of action.
Do they have like silver bullets in the armory? I don't know.
You start searching for.
Mm-hmm.
Should we maybe message Malik, say
You find
you
a
might
drawer.
want some silver?
One of the drawers have silver weapons, including the bullets.
Good. I could use that too.
You take the bullets.
Yes.
I'll take a knife.
Let him know. Let me know.
Please update
Relay
your
him.
inventory. With the bracket sign which one is silver. Georgie, you're taking ammunition silver for shotgun or for pistol?
I will go with one silver knife, if there is. Good. And some, how do you call them? The 12 gauge.
Shotgun. Cool.
More power.
Definitely.
Make them count.
What do you do next?
Okay. The other two went off for their own business, correct?
Sorry? Yeah. Theo and Malik.
Malik.
Drive off.
Okay. How about we should go and find your assistant manager, darling?
Really?
Yeah. Actually, give me a moment. If he has like another a bag of blood in his haven, I would like to have one more. Give me a moment.
Yeah, just take everything. Fine, it's cool. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I just grab a mug and pour it inside, and I'm like, okay. Let's drink to lift the spirits. Bottoms up.
He grabbed the mug with the saying, "Who's the boss?" And you're getting towards the limo car, the expensive one, with a white letter. Smells as new. You can
New
close your
cars.
eyes and feel better already. You set up the GPS. Where is it that you're going?
So last we saw, the coordinates were for my touchstone's house at my my mentor's house.
Andrew,
So-
am I correct?
Arthur. Yeah.
You set it up at and you went through. That drive was easy. To be honest, you didn't need the GPS, as you remember every day going that direction. House in the south of Oxford, pretty much the corners of the city. Towards forest, edges of any civilization. You reach to the big building, posh place, but old, and the grass growing, if you know what I mean. Our house is a little bit let down. You stop the car, seeing through the doors yellow tape stating fully crime and do not cross. Your stomach hurts.
Or
It's only
anything
private
else?
road reaching here. Around there's a forest. His forest, his own. He was a landlord of this place. No neighbors. Parked on a car park. White SUV. Building, ground floor and first floor. Nice old, very British.
I activate sense the unseen, just in case.
Nothing.
So, where do we find him?
Well, I usually just go and knock on the front door, but
You know this place very
looking at
well.
myself, is there anything I could do to look a little less dead?
Yes, you can do that. You can use your blood to circulate through your body and emulate your functions, your living functions. Like, imagine your heart pumping, 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 and pumping, transferring, the life to imitate life. It's the way I tricked those bastards last night. It even induces heat, body heat. We're room temperature creatures right now. We're just like fucking lizards. But if you can use that, you take normal temperature.
Georgie,
I tricked that. I dodged it by a hair last night.
George, insight plus manipulation.
Insight and manipulation.
Mhm.
4 and 4.
Hey, -2 is 6.
Yes.
3 successes. As he starts talking to you, you start nodding on what he said, and you felt that your heart again. You could see through in the mirror of your heart. You become pinkish again, not as pale as before.
I just enjoy the result. Like, look at those blush cheeks now.
But it comes
Keep
with a
your-
price as you become more hungry.
Keep that in mind. Don't use it all the time, just sparingly. Listen here. You may want to knock on that door. I will be standing next to the door, invisible and perfectly still. If the fucker comes over, talk with him. Let him speak the truth of what he's done, and if he has done that, we can stake them, we can do whatever we want with him. Alright?
Okay.
I can give him commands and the fucker will obey me, so good enough. Use your presence as well. You have your charisma. Play ball. So I just go next to the door and I cast the Cloak of Shadows.
Mm-hmm. You become perfect with your enemies.
Here goes nothing. Knock on the door.
You know.
I imagine he's got a big fancy knocker on it.
Yeah, something like that, holding a lion or some shit. You knock on the door. Nothing. You knock again. Same effect. You knock for the third time. The door's open. And you see Arthur. It's you! Come in, come in.
Good to see you, Arthur. It's been far too long.
He hugged you. You hugged him and you could smell his blood. You could smell his worm. You took a deep breath and you hold it as your fangs stood up. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time you're having a physical contact of any sort with a human being since you embraced.
First physical contact. It was...
Right. Yes, Malik.
You had contact with the other people in the restaurant?
Yeah, the restaurant. Your fangs showed up.
I was going to
didn't
say my
touch.
fangs showed up, but I didn't actually touch.
Oh, they didn't touch. Right, okay, no. Not me.
Okay.
Talk shit.
To introduce you, invite you in. Come on. You're coming in a weird time. May I offer you a tea or coffee?
No, I had one before I came over. Thank you. Can't have too much.
You're
Too much
lying
caffeine.
to me. Always know when you lie.
You always could see through me, Arthur.
I raised you.
That's right, you did, Arthur. Yeah.
So you got a lot of explanation to do. Police came and asked about you, then somebody break into my house.
They broke into your house.
Yeah, that's
They
why I
broke-
left this tape. I thought it's gonna be good for a Halloween.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I many apologies. I'm still working out the kinks as to why the police are in any way
He took 2
involved in my
glasses and pour
business.
Scottish whiskey into it.
You always have the good stuff, Arthur.
I'm well known for that, my dear. Have a seat.
So,
You sat across him
yes.
around the table in a living room that is quite spacious. It is dark. A little lamp is turned on. You think you can see Giorgos through the window, but he definitely cannot. Giorgos, you are witness to every word said. So your boyfriend came in asking me questions like I'm supposed to answer him.
My boyfriend, Arthur? You know I don't have time for that.
I was surprised. You can do so much better than your assistant. Come on. Even if I'm supposed to be rude, he could be your fuckboy, but not your boyfriend. Come on.
Yes, no, definitely not with... No. So he's been here, has he?
Yeah. I tell it to the police because 2 days later on, somebody broke in.
Yes, like I say, I'm unclear as to why the police are actually involved in my business at all. Because...
Oh, they came and asked me some bullshit question about you being dangerous, and I laughed at them. There's a better way of spending taxpayers' money than that.
Definitely. Well, we all know they don't spend that right in this area. But no, I've been meaning to... I can't seem to get hold of the assistant manager, so I'm intrigued that he's...
David.
Showed his face. Yes, David.
Left me his business card. Like I don't even have the words. I mean...
He's got his own business cards now. Oh.
With your restaurant name on it.
When I get my hands on him. I can't believe this. Was anything taken, Arthur?
From my place, yes. Plenty of shit disappeared. But they're gonna find it. They always do. In 3 years, but still. Most of it was just personal things. Nothing very valuable. Yeah. Don't know why and what for. But I went through your books and I'm really unhappy with the way you let down your business. You're not gonna figure out something, restaurant will fall. Are you aware of it?
No, funnily enough, David is supposed to be keeping track of those.
And nobody saw him for a week as well. So the
yes, last I've seen, I apparently owe someone money, and I don't even know who they are. So I expect David's had his hand in there as well.
You better start taking that shit seriously.
Yes, Arthur. I must do better.
End up again as someone's chef.
Yes, Arthur.
And in that matter, you know, bad rep is a bad rep in this business. And it's gonna stick with you for years.
Yep.
And you've got a whole future in front of you, so don't let yourself down.
Duly noted,
if you need
Arthur.
a kick in the butt, I am happy to provide one.
I know, Arthur. I appreciate it. I definitely do. Lord knows I wouldn't be where I was without the kicks in the behind you've given me in the past.
So, what brings you in?
Well, like I say, I was unclear about what's the police are really getting involved with. I can't get my head around it, really. And like I say, no one's seen my assistant manager. And after seeing an invoice of someone I don't recognise, thought maybe David's trying to wrangle his fingers and hands around my property. And thought a good way to, of course, get in well with my restaurant is to, of course, come to you, my mentor.
He starts to cough very hard. Fell on his knee and coughing even more.
Sorry, the audio cut out a bit.
He started to cough quite loudly. And then fell on his knees and started to cough even more.
Arthur?
Then
Arthur, what's happening?
both of you could smell the blood that he had broke with. He's coughing, but something is blocking in his throat.
I get behind Arthur and trying to, between his shoulder blades, I am hitting him on the back to try and dislodge what is in his throat.
You start hitting him,
die
and you
on me, Arthur.
and you saw drops of blood dropping on the white carpet that he had. The chokes that's coming out, the sounds that are coming out of him are uncommon. He is in terrible pain that forces his body to spasm.
Arthur, no. No, Arthur, no. Giorgos, help me!
George,
Do I hear?
yes, you hear every word.
Hey.
You getting into the building.
Yes.
What do you do?
I approach. What is wrong?
The man, old man,
It.
in around his 50s, 60s, with a grey hair,
Yeah.
polo shirt, and some shorts, is on his knees on a white carpet in the living room, choking to death with blood. You can see sparks of beast in Rose's eyes.
Sparks of beast.
Yes. She's very close
That's
to
all.
it. She's terrified.
Do I catch anything about it with Sense the Unseen?
No.
No. He's just like he has the beast and he just pukes blood.
Oh, he's trying to puke blood. Something is blocking his
He's
throat.
Okay. I will try. Can I try to press him just to? It feels like he has something stuck in his throat. So I would like to press him too.
You're grabbing him from the back and you're starting to squeeze. So, blow it off, yeah?
Yeah, I will try this one first.
The moment he starts to do that, Rose, you see something of the size of my fist in his throat that is going up and cannot move through his jaw. Growing and pulsing. Growing and pulsing. Growing to the level that stretched in and pulsing. Bits of blood coming out of the eyes. He started bleeding from the nose. The sounds of him choking are weakening. He's at the end of his breath.
Do I see the whole ball thing?
You cannot see that because you're behind him. Rose, what do you do?
Speak. What is it?
I feel around his neck.
You can
to
clearly
feel if
see
it's solid.
the size of the fist. Whatever it is moving in.
I clasp the throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
Can feel something inside. It's moving.
Do I? By the way,
Sorry.
and the temperature, the pulse and the temperature. Do I happen to sense?
Pulse
those?
is very weak. Temperature is raised.
So he has a pulse. It's not like he doesn't have one. Okay. I suspect that your friend here is a ghoul. And I will try to push upwards while the thing is, smaller in size to time it right so he can spit it out.
Test of dexterity and medicine.
Yes. Dexterity 2. Medicine 3.
5 minus 2 for the not sleeping, it's 3.
Yes.
What's your hunger? 1.
I was at 2. I'm not sure if the mug helped with that.
Mug, yeah, 1. Cool.
Okay.
You got 2 successes. In the moment he squeezed, the level that whatever it was went to his mouth. He fainted. The blood went from the nose and through the ears. You do not feel his pulse anymore. His mouth is blocked out. You holding by the throat a man. And whatever is in his mouth starting to slowly climbing out of it. Leg. Little tiny leg. Another. You could see the tail coming out of something like a worm. Then it spread wings. Wings of a moth. And start to go towards the lamp. Moth of the size of a fist. All covered in his blood, and whenever it's flying, it's spreading the wings that drops out on the wall, on the furniture, on you. Yet, Giorgos, you are the only person in the room following the moth. Rose is speechless, looking at the body on your hand.
In some way, I'll try to catch it.
You drop the body and start facing the moth.
Yeah.
Rose, what do you do?
Rose is on the cusp of having a complete mental breakdown over the body of Arthur. Like, not believing it. No, he can't be. He's going to be fine. He can't. No, Arthur, no. Arthur, don't go. Don't leave me, Arthur. You know you can't leave me.
I believe you're trying to CCPR or something like that. You're trying to
Yeah.
make him back, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
trying to use my first aid knowledge. Come on, Arthur.
Notice
Arthur.
you cut them off without a massive. You got them off. You cut it. You hold it in your hands.
Good.
It is moving, and it's difficult to hold it in one place. The fucker is strong.
Yeah, I grabbed the one hand above his wings so it cannot fly away, and I imagine that this happens while I'm in the kitchen, so I grab like a Tupperware and store it inside.
You put it to the back.
Somebody called this fucker inside, and I'm like, I go back inside, and I'm like, no pulse yet. No pulse yet. Rose. No. Why don't you try feeding him his blood, your blood? Looks like the guy is already a ghoul. He had the beast in his eye when I saw him. Feed him your blood. Okay.
Rose. Whatever you're trying to do, it's not working. He starts to feed his mouth with blood, but nothing. You're kneeling next to the corpse.
Giorgos, what do I do? I can't lose him. I can't lose Arthur. No.
I grab the Tupperware and I go inside. He's like flat on the floor. Okay, let's try something. Bite your hand and feed him your blood. I do not know, I cannot guarantee that it will work. You do not embrace him. You just give him some of your blood, and maybe it can help him heal. Maybe. But at this point,
Your blood starts to become.
no idea what this is.
You waited 30 seconds. Nothing happened. You waiting 45 seconds. Nothing happened.
His pulse is off. Nothing.
He's dead. He's gone. A person who led you through your life, who pushed you forward, who showed you the hard rules of business, show business, kitchen, and taste itself, is gone. And somehow you got an awful thing that he would still be alive if you wouldn't come here. That it cannot be coincidence that he died tonight. The guilt is burning your soul inside.
What have I done? Georgos, what have I done? Who would do this? Why would someone do this?
You are lagging.
You, me?
I don't know what's what.
Why would someone do this? How could someone do this? He can't be gone. He can't be gone. He can't be gone. He can't be gone.
It's not your fault, darling. You both turn your heads toward the man in the entrance, in the front doors. You see a guy in the age of maybe 20 years old, dark hair, short, handsome, devilishly handsome, if you know what I mean, with an elegant jacket and black shirt, maybe 180 centimeters tall, thin shaved, confident and smart. Rose, you see David. This is the moment I would like you to make a rouse check. Your current hunger.
My current hunger was 1 after having the blood bag.
Mm-hmm. Zero. As it is the person responsible in some level, as you believe, you launched on him. You and friends. Giorgos.
Can you please recap? Because it lagged and everyone froze, and I lost a part.
So in the
Trying
door
to-
stands David, as Rose recognized him and whispered before she turned to frenzy. And she's launching.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah. Where is the place that we are right now?
Living room.
Living room in the house.
Yes, there's barely a sofa and a short corridor between you and David. Rose, her knees next to you, but she's about to jump on him.
Yeah. Okay. I will. Do I see his face?
Yes.
Okay. Just to pause him, I look at him and say, forget.
Your mesmerism had no.
No.
No. You see Rose and start fit on him. She put him to the floor. You saw her tongue into his neck. His legs started to wiggle left and right until
Yeah.
he stopped. He looked at Rose, healing and fitting work for the first time. And the beast was satisfied, drank the last drop of blood. Rose your hunger, and you lose the humanity.
Boy.
Oh shit.
David is no more.
Turning to dust?
No.
No. I see. That was fast. Bon appetit.
In the meantime, you and Malik, you close the doors of the elegant car on the driveway in Haddington District. Yes, sir.
There is a beeping and feedback coming from Vasilis's mic.
Weird.
Yeah, it's like beeping every time someone speaks.
Please put on mute.
I don't know what it is.
So I think
Thank you.
Basilis is more quiet now.
Yeah, he put on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you close an elegant car in the Haddington District. And Tio is putting up the GPA's details. And also Tio is driving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually didn't have to put it, you just started driving. Are you having a conversation in the car?
Yeah, this is a bit creepy. Theodora, my dear, where are we going?
Remember when I said I was taking care of some things for the clan?
Yes.
That's where we're going. I think there might be something very wrong. I'm not sure. I can't be sure, but there is something I have to do every few days, and clearly I haven't been around to do that. And considering that is something the Sabbath may have interest in, I think it's best if we check.
How prepared do I need to be, my dear?
Oh, all depends on if I'm right or wrong about this, and if the Sabbath is there. If they are not there, then we shouldn't worry at all. If they're not there, then you won't even have to come in.
Oh, I'm coming in regardless. I'm going to just look at Theodora, like dead in the eyes. You are now under my care, my dear. Your life is in my hands.
Or You must give me your word that this doesn't get out. Nobody needs to know that you've been there. I don't know if I would face the consequences of telling you, considering you're an Archon now. But I can't risk it.
I will need something in return.
What is it?
You may teach me some sort of blood sorcery to add to my arsenal of abilities.
Nosferatu wants to learn blood magic. And that's the first that I heard. Deal. But I will appoint the time and place for it.
Perfect. Mark's going to spit in his hand and just hold it out.
I prefer not. But we have a deal.
Very well.
Few another roundabouts. New entrance, the Little Moor district. A village consumed by the Oxford city. The agglomeration just taken by. A quiet, probably most quiet part of Oxford City. Most of the residents of that district are elderly people. There's no children playing on the streets, no teenagers walking around. You would say that at this time in this season, the streets are entirely empty. It is peaceful and quiet. As the car stops next to the gate of Littlemore Mental Hospital. You reached your destination.
Well, we're here.
This is a mental hospital, my dear.
I am aware.
Okay, this... This isn't going to... I just know this isn't going to go right. Okay, that is good. Let's go. I will follow your lead.
You went into the security building. The same good evening doctor as always. You put your license next to the glass, they let you in. They even offered a coffee. They didn't ask questions about who is with you, because they know you very well. In a matter of minutes, you went inside the building and you led Malik to the secret. Out there, in the basement of that building, you sat here, taking an edge of the knife and spared her blood with the insignia that you might not even understand yet comprehend what it could be.
Can I at it?
Then she pointed her hand towards the wall and whispered the magical words to make her blood plunged into the brick and start moving them, making the entrance to the very old corridor.
Now that was impressive.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Was a blood magic, and that, if you would be human, would make you fit your pants.
Wow. You are full of surprises.
Tio started to walk first. You followed her, and out of two of you, Malik, you were the only one who jumped every single time when footprints burned on the left and right, lighting up forces over your head. Next step, water full of blood in front of you on the bottom of the stairs. Again, Tio healed create a magic symbol, covered her face, and whispered the words that you could not comprehend. And her blood spilled up towards the waterfall and make the path for you. You both enter. In here, the torches are lighted up in front of you. You're in like a bridge, and on the side of the bridge is nothing other than blood. A lake of blood. At the end of the bridge, there is an island, you would call it, made of stone, with 4 pillars, with the flames on them. On the middle of the island, as you start to walking towards it, you see a woman. A woman is crying. A terrified woman that's sobbing blood that joins the little corridors of the prison and fell into a lake of blood, fulfilling it.
Theodora, what on earth is this?
Isabella.
The woman is naked. Her body is tortured. She is full of blood sorcery symbols, lighting up, causing her pain, bringing her on her knees.
Theodora, please explain.
Isabella, otherwise known as Jezebel. She is... well... she is a Tsimisi of the 7th generation. And a member of the Black Hand.
The Black Hand.
Well, the one who captured her was, of course, the prince. Well, not him, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
He treats her as a living trophy of his, and he entrusted the clan Tremere with keeping watch. Have I mentioned that she is also the lover of Zoltan Karn?
Oh.
She
Yes,
in fact
you can-
is.
Say again?
She in fact is.
Don't
Ah.
Cold touch of fear went through your spines when you heard the voice behind.
I'm going through my nose and drawing them.
You expose your blades, and you can see the son of Zoltan, the very same person who joined you on the car park, who broke your bones with one hand at the entrance.
Mr. Karn, I was wondering if you would figure out the place.
My father sent me and asked me to send this to God. Regent, but not his head. God.
Theodora, what should I do? This woman is under your care.
I know. Unfortunately, I am as clueless as to what to do right now as you are.
What do you intend here, child of Khan? I mean you no harm, but if you
I
step
have-
forward, I will defend myself.
No intention of turning you into dust.
We cannot
There
allow you to
are
take her.
two possibilities that I can present, but I'm open for any other ending from your side. It is not my intention to free the Dark Mother.
Then why are you here?
It would mean
See again, sorry?
it
Yeah.
would mean the end of it. I know it. Not only the Oxford city, but every city ruled by the Golden. It is my very intention to keep her prison or dead.
I'm sheathing my blades.
Obviously, it's against my father wish. But it is for the greater good.
Theodora, this is your area of expertise. I'm merely here for protection and knowledge.
God, I hate this. I guess I am responsible for this, not. Please let me reinforce the seal, and we can talk. I am gonna go forward and start performing the ritual.
Theodora marked the symbol on her hands, touched to starting to awaken, but make the flames burst higher, and the woman scream more and more. The child of Zoltan moved his eyebrows, turned, and something quicker than a blink tossed him into the lake of blood.
My names are drawn again.
Whatever it was, it fell with him. You can see how the blood is splatting everywhere, how they fighting.
Theodore.
I draw two knives as well.
Now, Theo, you are in the middle of the.
Oh fuck.
You do
Well,
not do
shit.
anything else. On the entrance, you can see the butterflies approaching, fulfilling the place. The blood stops, creating a wave. It stops splattering everywhere. One of them won. Put his hands on a part of the bridge. And you can see a posture of a man approximately 190 centimeters tall, with the dark hair, so everything covered in blood. He's often back. Whole face covered in blood, every 360 degree around in blood, but smile is on his face. There's nothing better than a fresh blood of this fucking cultists. You recognize the voice of the prince who splattered the blood Right. Step aside, Malik. He started walking towards you.
What is your intention with Theodora?
Obey. And step aside. He's going towards her. You can see that he's starting to preparing the fist.
Not a chance.
He stopped. Don't be stupid, Malik. You don't stand a chance. And
As I remember correctly, you...
For the last time. I will show you who's the boss.
As I remember correctly, you once called me rat. Let's just show you what a rat can do. I'm charging directly at him. With rapid reflexes.
And now, Malik and the prince tossed at each other.
Here we go again! Malik taking on someone that's too strong for him.
Stupid! This is my first session, come on.
Well, Mr. Storyteller, what do you want of it?
I would like to tell you that it is a fight that your character can die.
Yep.
And the result of this fight will be having place next.
Fucking hell!
Thank you all for participating. Dear watchers, kindreds, and family, stay tuned for the episode of Oxford by Night. Good night.